For some reason, I got cut off. I'm back. You notice that? Isn't it creepy? I start talking about the devil and how he operates in darkness. All of a sudden, I lose my connection. I don't know. It just cut off while I was talking right in mid sentence. Hope people join. If not, that's okay. 19th and Just Roll checking in. My man. Oh my gosh, I got some stories right over there. I used to sit because I used to back when I was on Midnights, right over in that block, because them apartment buildings. You know what I'm talking about? They used to be out of there bad. Isn't that creepy, Kelly? Or is it Kayla? Kayla, isn't that creepy? I mentioned Satan and boom, my stuff cuts out. That's okay. I got a power in living in me that's way more powerful than him. What are you guys doing tonight? Ah, Keela, like tequila. I love it. No, no, I don't drink tequila no more. I had to quit drinking a long time ago. I've been sober for, man, it's going on since '09. It's been a long time. Your mom was adventurous. That's great. Google takes over. You're not doing too much. I don't do too much more on the weekends either. Practicing drums. Who's your favorite drummer? Devil is a lie. Can't drink. Allergic to alcohol. That's the best thing. That's the best thing for you. Drinking is drinking is something that I was really really bad at. So I stopped doing it. Danny Carey and Neil Peart. That's awesome, man. I love percussion. I'm a huge Metallica fan, so I always love. Lars may not be named as one of the greatest drummers. I love his drumming personally. I just love. I grew up on Metallica, still love them. I think their new album is wonderful, fabulous. Not like their old stuff. People always talk about Metallica. I want to see them go back to the old. It's never gonna be Master Puppets again. They're older. That was many years ago, but they're still great. I love Metallica. Just got tickets. They're coming to Chicago next summer. Just got some tickets. DL, I appreciate, man. Metallica is the best. I saw them live. I saw them live when they opened up in the Pfizer Forum in Milwaukee, 2018. What a great show they put on. And they don't try to act young anymore. You see a lot of these older bands that are still trying to act young. James and them, they don't act like that. They just like they look around. Man, I see a lot of old people. We're old. They admit it. We're just here to have fun. Yeah, Metallica was great. When will you be running for an elected position? That's actually I've gotten a lot of phone calls on that. Actually, people have inquired about that. I won't say I got a lot of phone calls, but got a lot of inquiries on that, and I actually did get phone calls of people trying to get me to go in on something like that. I don't feel that that's where I'm at. I run a nonprofit. I teach kids from the street about the Lord. I teach them about how to better their lives and about how to uh, violence prevention and just love that. That's really my niche is doing that and just spreading good news. So I'm not really into politics very much. Um, yep, my father's business. Jeff Parrish, you know MFB around Zion. That's what we do right here. I need all of you guys rocking our gear soon. Trying to contact you. It's who do I contact and how should I present to the right people? KLS Inc. Look on my website, mfbuyouth.org. And send me an email. It'll have the email on there. Vice President. I I remember that. I don't know very much about running for office. If it was, I guess it seems like a popularity contest. Some of them, but I don't know. The way that I see it in politics, all you need is 51% of people to like you and to get you in. I don't want that. I want to spread love to everybody. I don't need no enemies. Got enough. I want to bring people together. All I've ever seen politics do, and not a knock on anyone that follows politics, all I've ever seen it do is create more divide. Whenever you bring it up, somebody's gonna be offended about something, but that's why I kind of just stay away. Oh, sorry about that, Keela. That's you're pretty transparent about that, Keela the Watcher. I'm sorry about that. But I'm glad you came out of that. I don't have my family not full of angels either, so believe me, I feel it. I know what you're doing, but you're still kicking and you're still here. I love it. Alexis Lee, take care of a 84-year-old. That's very valiant of you. I appreciate that. God bless you too, Victory. Carrie T, I appreciate that, man. Oh, that's awesome. Minuet, Minuet, is it Minuet R? I appreciate that. It'll go right to him. Low contrast, my man. I would love that, Ryan. I would love to put me up in front of somebody. Put me up in front of somebody that I can speak to about. Let's redo some of the way that this mentality is taught in the academies and in training. Because I tell you, there's a lot that needs to be tweaked. I've actually met. I've done a few things with some of the senators. I got an award from a state senator. I've met quite a few at speaking engagements. I've spoken on the same stage as a few of them. Um, but honestly, I wouldn't know who they are. I was kind of embarrassed. I met one of the biggest state senators from my state, and I'm shaking his hand, and I asked him, I was like, yeah, what do you do, sir? I didn't know who I was even talking to. My partner next to me is like elbow me, dude, that's the freaking senator. I'm like, oh, my bad. I apologize. I don't really follow politics like that. But I mean, it's just to me, it's he just seemed like another dude to me. Keela, that's awesome. Victory, thank you, thank you. They always say like the what does the like button do on live? I don't know. A lot of people say make sure you hit the like button. I don't know what that does. Yes, Tommy Norman. He's actually, I have a mutual friend, Officer Tommy Norman. Jenny James, I appreciate that question. Tommy Norman's a good dude. He's actually, I saw what he did a long time ago, and it really I'm thinking like, man, I do the same stuff in my city, and I really enjoy, like he was the first one I ever saw that really went public with it, and that they posted a lot about it. So I love that dude. I pray for him a lot. I think he lost one of his children in an accident or something, maybe last year. So I pray for that brother all the time, and he seems like a great dude. I wonder how many cops watch your channel and hate it. Oh, there's quite a few. Don't worry, don't worry. There's some trolls that I know by name that are on here so much that are just trying to bait me. But I'm not going to respond. I sometimes I scroll down and just like look and watch for him. Hey, did so and so, is he awake today? Is he trolling me again? Hmm. I would love to. I do some training classes. There's some videographers sometimes at the classes, but I don't I don't really know if I've ever gotten access to those videos. I know one of my training classes got sent to the Department of Justice a couple years back. They did an article on it, but I would love to throw some of my ethical ways and just give them to. It would make I believe it will make everyone more safe. It could crush down that help crush down that wall of divide that we have. You have helped me get past a pair of cops. It's from Poppy. Since there's no accountability here in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, I'm sorry about that you deal with that. But yeah, I'm glad I could help you. It really is. It's more. I'm probably the biggest mouth of the cops like me. There's quite a few. God bless me with a platform that I can talk about this openly. I really do have a cool department. They don't care that I talk about this stuff. Um, and really that I don't say anything that someone that's authentic and stands for truth would disagree with. Judge Frank Caprio and you and two lawyers in California are the most sweetest people. Judge Lynn Toller, my condolences. Yeah, I appreciate that, Victory. That's awesome. That's awesome. I actually got offered that low contrast do auditor undercover. I do that on my own sometimes. I used to do it a little bit more. I would approach officer because I don't look like a cop out of uniform. I don't think I look like a cop. I mean, I'm tatted from head to toe. Um, so I would test them. If I have a question for a cop, I'll go up to them. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes they treat me like I'm scum. They look at me like I'm vermin. And I've called a couple out, but it really makes me so mad. It really does. It really makes me so mad when I can see what the common citizen would feel like going up to a cop. This is someone that works for me. They work for the people, and they think that it's okay to talk to the people any way that they want. I just couldn't imagine that. Could you imagine that? If you went to a customer service and they were intentionally bogus and rude to you, and they wouldn't have a job, right? So why do they think they can get away with that, man? Someone comes up to me, I'm all smiles, man. This is a job. I don't care that I had a bad day or I had or I've had a rough week or I had to work this murder or work this shooting. It doesn't matter. I am paid to treat people good. I don't care what any cop says, and the ones that that don't share that attitude, they seem like the most hateful ones toward me. I get paid to treat people right. That's what my job encompasses. It's what I swore an oath to do. So when they act like that, it really disgusts me. KLS Inc. I appreciate that. Love you right back. Is your sergeant as good as a guy? Zombie Entertainment. That would be Sergeant Luff, and that's one of my. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. He came up with the saying, and if you see any of my silly videos, when I was a detective, I stopped being a detective a year and a half ago. But when I was a detective, I was in there for 6 years. I had these two partners, and we always worked. Me, Nick, and Glenn, and each there was a few other ones that worked, but we worked together. We worked homicides and shootings. That's most of what we worked together, and we just had a good time. And they're authentic dudes. And Silver Fox, that's his nickname. His name is Sergeant Love. One of the sweetest dudes, authentic dudes. We share the exact same mentality. He's a little sillier than me when it comes to just day to day silliness. He's a character, but yeah, he's authentic. And his motto is "We do business different here in our city." He takes pride in doing different and treating people right. He really is a good dude. Matter of fact, he was a mechanic before he became a cop. So my car's at his house right now, getting the power steering fluid pump fixed. He's a great dude though. He's a real deal. Guy looking in my window. I don't know. I don't see him. I hope not. He's gonna be famous. He's gonna be on my YouTube if he is looking in my window. Probably guy walking by. I watch Auditor's channel on Cop Watch in America. Yeah, Jenny James. I watch Auditors all the time. That's all that pops up on my pages. They're very interesting to me, and it's just like it's almost like watching a car wreck about to happen on a lot of those. Man, why do officers keep failing those? And why is it that just not fundamentally ingrained in every officer? If somebody's filming in public, they can do that all they want to. But you'll continually see. I put one on today up here. They walk up. He's on the public easement. He's videotaping. I know that guy. I forgot the guy's name. But he's a good auditor. He's really respectful, and he just walks around videotaping stuff. And you don't need to ID him. I don't understand why the urge to have them. And it's the first thing that people will be trained, I guess, is that you need ID. You need to ID everybody. No, you don't, and you don't really have the right to ID everybody, dummy. That's what I say. You don't have to ID everybody, and you can't legally make somebody give you your ID. You can't intimidate them into IDing themselves. They're 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 exercising a constitutionally protected activity, and that's that. Leave it at that. If you want to be on camera, I throw them the deuce. Say, hey, tag me on this, man. Renita, I appreciate you. Squeaky wheel gets the grease, whatever that means, Angie. Hope that's good. If it's not good, then it's okay. What age can I collect a pension? In my tier, I can do it at 50, and which is in about 2.5 years. Jenny James, God bless you too. Yeah, I would be nothing without the Lord. Yeah, cops push an issue with the ID for no reason. I don't know why. I don't know why we keep failing these things, man. You don't have to ID people. You ain't got a legal reason to. Move it along. If you think they're doing something suspicious by filming, okay. If you want to waste your time, go over there, park down the road, and watch them. I'll be a perfect cop. Well, yeah, I think that's actually pretty funny. Nita Jane, Tennille is at a concert right now. That's why I'm in a garage down on the south side of Chicago, waiting because I didn't really want to go into that concert. So I dropped her and my daughter off. So they're having fun. I'm just waiting around. I'm their chauffeur tonight. She's probably dancing on the ceiling right now. Well, contrast, I appreciate that. I ain't never gonna. My mouth don't shut. Ask my wife. I just if I see something and I gotta say something, because I love what's right. Let's see. You work out with me sometimes? Oh, can you work out with me sometimes? What I do is I'm old. I was I used to be a weightlifter. Then I found out that all that muscle, I was about 220. All that muscle and them big arms do nothing for you in the ring. So I took up boxing for a long time. I got more fit and sleek, and I couldn't box anymore because I had too many headshots, and I just got my nose fixed. Matter of fact, last year. So now I'll run races. I'll participate in any fitness endurance type of training is what I love to do. I hate lifting weights. I do it because it's a necessity. It's good for you, but I hate lifting weights. I wonder how many rests you have after just a month as a cop watch. I don't know. I don't know. I can spot them. I'm a professional at seeing them. I know the rules. Yeah, I do get a lot. Keila, I do get a lot of judgment for my tattoos. That's okay. I've been getting them since I was a kid. I actually made a policy at my PD for my tattoos. Everyone asks me. They all mean something. They all mean something good. Something to me. My tattoos all have a deep meaning, whether it's a loved one or someone that influenced me growing up, someone that I love that passed away. I just have, they all mean something. I got 100 of them. Alexis Lee, I appreciate that, man. God bless you. What's my job now? Mark Hudson. Okay, so I was on patrol for 11 years. Then I was a detective for 6 years. And then I went back to patrol because the chief put a cap on how long you could be a detective for at my PD. So I went back on the road, and then a school resource officer job opened up. So that's what I've been doing since. We get out of school in like 3 weeks. But I love the SRO job. I don't bring that up as much because I don't. They don't want you to compromise the kids or bring up your school very much because they're kids. Well, you'll see most of my kids that I do interact with at the school. You'll see them in my videos because they all come to my program every Friday. So Gary, what caser? What caser? Man, I love you right back, brother. I pray. I appreciate the prayers, man. I'm gonna pray right back for you, man. Keela, yeah, my wife she is something else, man. Michael Thornton, my man. See, all my Thornton family, see, my family is very diverse. I'm half Mexican and half Irish. My Mexican's family is all from Chicago area, and my Irish family is all from Las Vegas. So I'm all the Thorntons are from Las Vegas that I'm related to. So stop enforcing feelings. Man, Ryan, I couldn't have put that any better, man. Get over yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously. Man, some of these dudes. I think that's one of the biggest things I tell my rookies. Like, man, don't take yourself that serious. All right. I'm a moron. I'm afraid of my own mama. How can I take myself seriously and have this big old ego? Man, get over yourself. You ain't gotta be emotional out there. Just enforce the law. Have fun with it. Any officer of blast metallic in a police station while doing paperwork, yes, that's the silver fox, Mr. Villanueva. That's the silver fox. He and I play Metallica all the time. He's a huge Metallica fan. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Zombie. What if that is a cop? Wouldn't that be funny if I got approached by a cop now for doing nothing but sitting in my car? We could all have an audit right here, and see if he passes or fails. See if he IDs me. He's not getting it. I don't want to talk. I'm gonna tell him I don't talk. I don't talk. I don't answer questions. This is true, Vanessa. That is very true. My change in my life, yeah, actually everything changed in my life when I accepted Christ. JM. That was in 2013. That was my wife. My life took a whole different approach, obviously, because you see the world differently. And part of what was, they say that God will break you and then make you His own. So I was really at rock bottom when I met the Lord, and I just really thought and I discern my steps over the years, and I know that He wanted me to start speaking out against some of this stuff. So I really do believe. It might sound cliche, but I really do believe that this is what he wants me to do. Just speak out in love. I don't speak out and condemn anybody, but I want to authentically see policing get better. Is my woman into handcuffs? No, I'm not into that. Yeah, the handcuffs that I carry have been on too many people, communicable diseased people. I don't let her touch them things. Let's see, Angie P, the one who used their voice gets results. So I would hope that I get some results, or maybe I change them. If I change, to me, if I change one mind, then I've done my job. So Lamont, stay blessed, firefighter. Oh, we have that nice rivalry with firefighters. We call them second responders, and then they call us names back. It's fun. I love my firefighters. DL, have a good man. Stay blessed, you too, brother. Nelson Vidal, I love the time you spend with the youth. Keep doing that. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you big time, Nelson. That's awesome. If you wish to answer, I'm curious why the tattoos. Most cops have tattoos. Listen, Jenny, listen. I'm gonna tell you this with all from the bottom of my heart. Cops did not have tattoos like me 20 years ago. I was I stood out in the crowd. They hated me at the academy. Um, I think it's something that and I always tease cops about that now, because now you got all kind of websites of ink law enforcement pages, and they all got this ink, and they all got sleeves. And I was like, man, I had tattoos before you guys may try to make it cool. I used to get roasted. I had one lieutenant that had tattoos when I got there. That was it. It was me and him. We had sleeves. Nobody else. And then about 10 years later, I think it was when these tattoo shows started coming on TV. All these cops started getting tattoos now. So I just tell them, hey, you guys are about posers. We had tattoos before they were cool. Yeah, they did make a policy, Angie. They made a policy in my PD because of my tattoos. That they did. It's okay though. Lamont, I can't speak on that publicly, but I can agree with you there. Keela, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's I actually my tattoos. While we're on that topic, it makes me more relatable. Like people on the street they've always loved me for that. They because they everyone has them now, but when I kind of stood out, so but it made them relatable. Heck, I used to get my tattoos right down in our neighborhood, right down in the basement of our neighborhood. That's where my guy DJ started. He's my tattoo artist, DJ. Shout out to Inkhead Tattoo, best tattoo artist ever. That's my guy. His name is DJ. But I started off right in the neighborhood. I went in his basement, and I'd see all kind of people down there. I didn't care. That's where I grew up, so I don't care about going down there and getting tatted. And that's where I started, in his basement years ago when I became loyal to him. And he got his own shop now, so he's moved up. So shout out to DJ at Inkhead Tattoos. Follow him. Nava, I appreciate that. Elohim, I love that. I love when people call God by his different names. Elohim, Jesus, Yeshua, or Yeshua, you say it. Mark, I appreciate it. Man, it's so much fun in them schools. Me and them kids. The good part about being in the school is if you have a kid that you're struggling with, or the kid that's struggling, he's not going anywhere because you're going to see him the next day, and you can still try to mentor him and work on him and love him and steer him in the right direction. So that's what's fun about school. I see. I'm trying to catch up and stay up to date on these. Zombie Detective Man, how would you like to make a guest appearance on the show Chicago PD? I don't know how I would look on the big screen, or the TV show. I would do it though. That'd be fun actually. I've shot a few videos. I've been on TV a few times, and it was actually a lot of fun. I was on the live TV is no joke though. Whew. I remember being on live TV as a show called Windy City Live. It's a big show here in Chicago. It's huge. I was on there because they did a special on my program that I run, and I'm in the green room getting my makeup done, getting my head all mattified and non-shiny. But I was in there, and the whole time I was scared to death because when you're on live TV, you can hear the crowd in the background, and all they tell you, they don't tell you much when you go on a live show. The producer comes in and says, "Okay, we're going to give you 60 seconds to tell your story, and then we're going to ask you questions." Okay, like, okay, and I'm like, my heart is racing in the green room. So I'm sitting next to this guy, and he's calming me down. He had been on TV before, and the whole time, I didn't really. I was there and I saw who he was, but I didn't see who he was because I was so nervous. And I went on. I did really well. The clip is probably on my YouTube somewhere. But I did really well. And then I turned and I realized that the guy that was with me in the green room was the dad from Meet the Browns, David Mann. Like this famous dude that I watch on TV was the one talking to me. But I was so nervous that I didn't realize who that was until afterwards. Really good guy though. It was a really good guy. But yeah, live TV is no joke. Tatted woman from the '70s. See, there you go. We had tattoos. Is it Dylan? Had tattoos since before they were cool. Everyone told me, "Oh, that's gonna be there forever." Now everyone's got tattoos. Almost said get my hair, and I was getting my head done. I was getting all that shiny. See, my head is so shiny. They have you in this chair, and they pamper you. They make sure you don't shine on TV. Because I'm a greasy, shiny head. Students always grab my head at school. That's like the most requested thing. They can I touch your head, Officer Thornton? Hey, come on. I don't care. I'm just a big kid myself. What's gang stalking? Uh, I don't really. They don't use that term around these parts that I've heard of. Powder his dome. Yeah, my wife's always trying to say that. Ah, Dylan is involved. There you go. Get some more tats. Post them out here. Let me know what your last one is. You think the media plays a huge part in the public perception of cops? Oh, of course. Um, as you can see, the everything is slanted, and I think politically speaking, which I don't speak on very often, but I think the media is more run and slanted, at least where I'm from, slanted towards the left. Um, and they can show what they want and make a perception that they want. And I think they can manipulate kind of how people think. So I do think they have a big deal in the perception of really pretty much anything that you really want, that they really want to. So I think that is huge. I always yell at my mom for watching the news. I'm like, you can't see right through this, what they're getting at, all these political undertones that they're trying to like power or like pound into your mind. Well, she just says, I ain't listening. You know what you're talking about. So, are the standards to become a police officer too low? That's a very, very debated thing. Um, I think that honestly, we need we do a don't do a good enough job in bringing in people that have been on the other side or that necessarily have been lived more life experience. You get a lot of squeaky clean dudes that never got a ticket, never been in trouble in their life, and then you throw them. They A lot of them not necessarily even dealt with the culture of the city that they're going to police in. And you train them up, and then you throw some 21, 22-year-old kid into a environment he's never seen before. And I mean, he may have a 4.0 GPA and got his bachelor's degree in criminal justice or what have you, but he has no street knowledge, no life experience. So I don't think we do a good enough job of setting those guys aside. And I also think that and no offense to any military, but just because you were in the military doesn't mean you're going to make a good cop. I think they sway way too much. I think they give 5 military points on the test to get hired. You get extra points. You get ahead of people that weren't. And military people, I love you. Thank you for your service. I got so many veterans. My daddy was one. I got them all in my family, all my uncles, a lot of my cousins. I love you, but that doesn't mean you're going to make a good cop. I've seen some of the biggest tyrants or jerks are ex-military people, so they shouldn't get 5 points right off the bat. You should get 5 points for growing up in the city that you police in. That's what I've been screaming. Like, man, I love these streets. My heart is with my city. It always has been. I grew up there. but nobody gives me any extra points because I actually grew up on these same streets. I know everybody in this city, but some dude that was in the Navy that grew up 50 miles away and never even know nothing about my city gets fired. No, I think we didn't. Empathy training. That's a man. That fracture vision. That's one that would be great. Um, I remember I've made a TikTok or a video about this a ways back. I was in a class years ago, and they told me to list out. They told you to make a list of the top three attributes to being a cop. And my number one attribute that I wrote on top of my list was compassion. That makes the best cop because you can empathize with people and love the citizens and treat them correctly with compassion. That starts everything. So the instructor of the class saw my page and he tried to make a fool out of me in front of the class, he called me Mr. Compassion and said I was weak. And and this is a dude who's training other officers saying that being compassionate towards people makes you weak. That's basically what he said. And I thought that stuck with me for years. That was a long time ago that happened. And this dude is teaching other officers how to be an officer. That to me is reprehensible. That still sticks with me to this day. That compassion equals weakness in the minds of some of these dudes running PDs. That's disgusting. And I'm glad to use that as an example. I actually thank you for doing that because I've used that as an example of how things need to change. That's somebody that pulls sway in the policing industry. That's sickening. Compassion should be the number one thing you have so you can empathize with your fellow human beings and be good. JSTPF. I appreciate you. I did do a video on that a while back. I got a lot of hatred too. I got a lot of hatred for that one because I'm calling out someone that's training other cops. That's the issue. Yeah, compassion has done me well over the years. So I got so many stories about that. Like I'm gonna shout out my one of my dear friends, who was, and she don't mind me talking about this, struggle with addiction was very notorious. And bringing heroin. One of the first, I think she was the first heroin arrest I ever made years ago because heroin, my city was all cracking and heroin came in and boom, the avalanche fell with that stuff. I think she was the first one I ever arrested years and years ago. And she was very notorious addict in our city, but I always felt something for her. I felt like man, I feel bad. She's had a rough life. She kind of told me a little bit about her background, and so I had a lot of compassion for her. And she's doing very well right now. I ended up sponsoring her to get help at a facility, and she's clean now. She sends me letters and messages every few months, and now she's doing really well. She's like a year sober. She's actually a leader at her group. I believe she's in Kentucky. Name is Lois. I love you, Lois. I hope you're watching this. You make me proud. But showing empathy shows right there that you can change somebody's life. You can help them out instead of wanting to do damage to them. We do need empathy training. That's huge. Yep, Christ, the most compassionate of all, the strongest, not the weakest. Dr. Fingertips, that is the point. What do I think about qualified immunity? Man, that's an in between thing. That's one that as a Geinstein, that's one that I'm still researching. There's good and bad, and that has a lot of moving parts. It's complicated. But I will say that it has done some harm. But I want to look into that a little bit more before I speak publicly because that's not a I don't ever want to speak on something that I don't know every in and out of because there's a lot of complex questions that come from qualified immunity. But I'm working on that. I'm gonna start talking on that really, really soon. Tony Shutter, I appreciate you, man. I see it. I do see a shift, though. I will say this. I'm not gonna change anything overnight, but I want to start conversation. Just plant a seed. Nancy, appreciate it. I love being married. My wife is the best. New York City, Sandra, I love it. I want to go there. JSTPF. I used to be a heroin addict. Had an interaction with a cop. Started to change my mind on cops. Man, that feels good. Um, to me, addicts are the most humble people. They know they're broken. and that's what makes somebody humble before God. Actually, you understand what it's like to hurt, and you don't have a you only see life as it can only improve because it doesn't get any worse. And so heroin addicts are the ones that I find that I relate to really, really well because I know what it's like. I don't think I'm better than any of them. I was broken just like them before God saved me. Um, so I see us as two broken people, and I still struggle in this life. This life is never going to be easy. So I can't judge. I can't judge you. I just want to help you. Be in the light. That's my goal, Jenny. I appreciate you. Frank Rosemack, where are the rest of the cops with your attitude, character, and charisma? Well, I would hope they would start speaking up. They can join me anytime. I got the open invitation. Start talking about this stuff. If they're out there, there's the one that I do talk to a lot. It's called the Lamplighter Project. They're on TikTok. Go check them out. I don't know if they're on YouTube. I do follow them on TikTok, and I communicate with them quite a bit. They help speak on officers that want to be whistleblowers and want to speak up. So hey, if there's some, I'll be glad to come and we can sit down and talk. We do video together or trainings together. I would love to have more people speaking up. Give my back. Your opinion about criminal defense attorneys you interact with. Mostly jerks are just being professional. You mean it's some of I get along with all of them. I understand. Like there's so many cops with these egos that think that they're F them, they're a defense attorney, like they're just trying to fight. No, everybody in this country has a right to a defense. It doesn't matter what crime you ever did, you have a right to a defense. That's how the law works. And I understand the defense attorney is just doing their job. They swore an oath to represent their client because everyone in this country has a right to a defense. So I get along with all defense attorneys. They're almost like most of them that I know personally, they understand it and they know my heart behind the badge because um, a lot of people know who I am in my county, and so I actually get along really really well with them. I don't have a problem with them. Of course, on the stand, you'll go at it with them sometimes, and it's really just a chess match. It's all about respect. You'll have these banners back and forth with a defense attorney on but then you see them in the hallway and a lot of them will just either shake your hand and say good game stuff like that, but it's just part of the job, and I respect them and I show them grace and love them like anybody else. I don't judge anybody. Southern Cal, I got family down there in LA and Riverside. Has my department ever had a problem with my social media? There's been a couple of posts that I was told to take down, but they were like the weirdest ones. They weren't controversial. They just, I think somebody got rubbed the wrong way about some joke I made, or my sense of humor is a little off sometimes. I'm just a wise guy. And but other than that, they've allowed me to operate. They understand I have a constitutional right to voice. I do a lot of videos outside of my job, but while I'm on duty, I do them on break and don't try to email my boss or my mayor because they understand I do these things on my downtime, and it literally takes me 90 seconds to post a video. You sit there and you'll see my videos. It takes me 90 seconds. I can do it in the bathroom. It's not taken away from any work I do. I do tremendous work. I got all my reports done. I don't do anything on my unless it's on my downtime. So they're very supportive. They're very cool. I work for a really cool department, Zion, Illinois. Shout out, love you guys. A dance parade in New York, Sandra. Ooh, my wife would love that. I can't make it on the 20th though. I would love that. I need some heads up if I want to go out there. I'm one, and it's sad. Let me see. Go Irish, your defense attorney. I'm one, and it's sad how often some defense attorneys are trying to vilify cops and detectives. Are you a defense attorney or are you a cop? Low contrast, I agree with you. That's the code. To me, that's the code. And the people that raised me, they taught the code on the street, the code of the street, you show respect to get respect. And I agree with you that it goes both ways. Dylan, bless you too. Kai, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Do you know Sean Paul Reyes, Brian Wade? Is that Long Island Auditors? Yes, I know him very well. I should get him on here on one of these lives with me soon. He told me he wanted to go on with me. I'll he's a good. I've talked to him off the camera too, Sean. I've talked to him plenty. He means well. He really. If you watch his audits, he does them respectfully, and he really genuinely. That's why he was drawn to me, and we connected, because he's like, man, you're trying to make the world better, and that's really my motive too. So then we sparked up a friendship. Harrison Moore, how can regular citizens help support officers like you in your mission? I think the best way you can help me is just being on here and support me. Share my videos, or bring the word, or to somebody. Um, and that means everything to me, because I think I've gotten a decent following, and I have a voice, and I have gotten tons of input. I've gotten asked to do trainings. I've gotten asked to speak to different PDs, and I think that's the best way you can help, is just sharing the word of mouth. Lord knows that the news on TV ain't the news anymore. The what's on we learn what most we see is on YouTube and on the internet stuff. Low contrast, it got us back as far as the message. I appreciate that. You don't have to be a fan of everybody. Um, yeah, his there's different styles of art, and I hear you, brother. Sean's he really is a good dude off of the camera. Starting to see others begin combative. Do you think some are doing for recognition? Yeah, I do see. I wouldn't even call it. There's a lot of them now that they're just straight hecklers instead of auditors. They right off the bat, they're not, and I can't down them, because they do have the First Amendment right to say what they want to. But a lot of them I wouldn't consider. They will go out there to purposefully insult to get a reaction, and I don't think that's as effective. But I mean, to each his own. If somebody was screaming at me, and they do scream at me, they've done it plenty over the years. I don't. it's the same way. They have the right to do it, and that's the bottom line. So it's not my style, but they have the right to do it. What advice do you have for a kid who wants to be a cop but is losing interest due to what is going on nowadays? Kai, that's a good question. My opinion: make a difference. It's not easy. Rather, I say I'm rubbing people the wrong way, or rubbing certain people the wrong way with speaking out, but you can get in here and make a difference, and speak out, and do a world of good. I go right up to all my rookies now, and I tell them, this is how we operate here, and you can make a difference, and do the right thing. We're trying to change the face of how policing was. Not this military trash anymore. Not this military style. Not the military's trash. Maybe I said that wrong. Military style policing is needs to be done away with. I think it's trash. It's dehumanizes people. So we're trying to change that. Yep, everyone has their own style. Jeff Gray, I have not heard of him. Is he an auditor? Maybe tag me in a video or something. Yeah, yeah, Zombie. That's my guy. Zombie is awesome, man. I love that dude. Is it a dude? I don't know. I think it's is it a dude? Lacey R and Zombie is that? I don't know. I see his. I see. I keep saying he. If it's not a he, I apologize. But I see the logo. I don't see a picture. So yeah, the war with people. I'll always say that the militarization of police was a big mistake. Military mind is us against them. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it creates, and I'm not at war with anybody. What's up, Kitty Blaze from Florida? People's skills show how you interact in live. Wes, I appreciate that, man. I'm just a normal dude. I don't take myself seriously, but I do take the truth seriously. So I'll always talk on the truth. Bay Area transparency. Yes, I watch them all the time. I love them guys. There's a few that the names. Who's the guy? Is it Big Jeff? It's somebody from Florida that I watch, man. He's pretty funny too. He's a good dude. Port St. Lucia. Wow, man. What's up, MB? Donut operator. I have to see that. I don't. That doesn't sound familiar to me. Next time I'm in Vegas, I'll look you up. I'll let you know. You know, I'm starting to do more of these lives. So next time I'm in Vegas, I'll for sure do one. I'll meet up with you. My family lives in a subdivision right off of Rancho and Sahara, so that's where I'll be at. Big Nick, that's it. Big Nick in Florida. I like watching his stuff too. What time is it? I got the clock. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Mama to text. She's at this concert down the street. Let's see. Any more questions before I get up out of here? Old heads warned how Patriot Act policing would end up turning citizens against police. Man, a homeless hound, that is so true, man. I look back, I wasn't a cop back when that was enacted, but man, is that true. I mean, it kind of just gave them so much power and carte blanche to do what they wanted. And man, that is a comment of one of the comments of the night. That is so true. My favorite cop show, KAPA, my favorite cop show. I wasn't a huge fan of cop shows, but my wife is somehow obsessed with First 48. Um, I've worked so many homicides in my career, so she kind of like gets my take every step of the way. She's asking me a question. What would you do here? What would you do there? And I'm not claiming to be the greatest homicide detective ever, but I've worked so many of them. I do have a good take and a gauge on why they're doing what they're doing and how they do what they should do next and stuff like that. So I'd say that's the one that I watch the most. I'll check out Donut Operator. I keep hearing the name, so I'm gonna check it out. If traffic infractions are not crimes, why do police treat people traveling in their automobiles like criminals? I have a lot of thoughts on that traffic infraction stuff. Um, I've critiqued how we do that quite a bit. Um, Nobody should be treated like a criminal for a traffic infraction. You'll get these guys come up to a window and they'll be RoboCop and they'll be like I never understood why a cop just doesn't flat out say why they stopped you. They'll get up and they want to dictate everything, and they'll always hide. A lot of times they hide too much behind the just the secrecy of why. Like, dude, the first thing I say, hey, good afternoon. I'm Officer Thornton, police department or police officer. I'll introduce myself and just say the reason I stopped you is because of this. And if you talk like a human, you're gonna get 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a human reaction. But if you go, hey, license and registration. You see some of these RoboCops come up here to these windows, and dude, you're just asking for a confrontation. I have a huge issue with that, and that's all training right there. Mark Hudson, yeah, I've worked some. Takes a tough man to do homicides. Yeah, yeah, I've worked some heartbreaking ones. Many shifts I've gone home and cried. Um, that's those ones get to you. The hardest part about the job is telling another family member. I've been in homicide scenes where the family members were rushing to get to their deceased loved one, and that stuff. I'll cry if I talk about it too much on here. That's tough stuff. Jason Yeager, thank you for being such a great guy. I appreciate that, man. I will stay safe. I always do. Sandra, yeah, that's who you see a lot out of a lot. I can't say that that's not true. I never understood it. You just be a cool dude. It's not hard to get you get coolness back if you're a cool dude. Talk like a human, you get treated like a human. Now I traveling mercies to you and your family. I appreciate that. You stay blessed too. I'll keep you right back in prayer. Appreciate that big time. Have you ever did a call where you've had to dial correct partner's approach, like possibly? Oh yeah, that happens quite a bit. I pull a few to the side, like, bro, we ain't doing this. We don't do people like this. That happened early on in my career. And as soon as you're known as one of them cops that's gonna call out bad behavior, they just won't do it in front of you no more. You want to be a bad cop, you're not gonna do it in front of me. And if I see it, I'm gonna go right to your face and tell you that's bogus. And if you don't want to listen, and then it's time to go talk to other people, talk to people above you. But it just makes all of our job harder. Makes all of our job harder and more dangerous, because people are gonna hate us more because you treat people stupid. Dr. Fingertips, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that big time. I've never been to Baltimore. There was a cop that I used to, it was interesting. It's a dude named Mike. He was an ex-Baltimore cop that talked a lot about a lot of the same stuff I do. I think he quit. I think what's different, people get shocked that I'm still an officer that talks like this because I'm an active officer, but I don't care. I speak my mind. Do you think officers should be paid more? Harrison, that's a good question. I guess it just depends on where you're from. I make I mean, you can Google how much I make. I make more money than that. For someone who barely passed high school. I don't complain about the money I make. I'm blessed. Um, I don't really think that if a cop complains that he doesn't make enough money, you knew what you were going to make when you tried out for the job, balloon head. So I don't think you should be complaining. I think cops are paid what what the norm. I don't see a problem with what we make because if you don't like it, it's we live in a free society. Then don't go into the industry. Sir, how do I stop doing? Oh, that's a rough. I got a lot of friends and family. Go get you some help. You got to talk about it out loud, man. Yes, a bad cop will get a good cop hurt. I understand that. I come across that a lot. You'll go to a call and people will just be so they think that you're out to get them. And it takes some people skills to be like, no, everything's good, man. I'm not here. I ain't mad at you. I'm not here. I'm here because I got called here. It's all of your approach, how you talk to people. And that's the Matt you see right now is the same Matt you see on the street. And if it has to get to a point where you got to take somebody or it gets physical, then you do what's necessary to make that happen. Don't do any extra. You just do what you have to do to basically get their hands behind their back and the minimum that you have to do. I don't want to hurt nobody. Let's see. Yeah, give him some advice about getting off of that. Good Bible based church that does rehabilitation. The one that I got Lois into was Teen Challenge. That's old David Wilkerson crew. They do good work. If you can find a Teen Challenge, that's what Lois got clean off of. Using a bunch of different rehabilitation places, but that did good for her. It's not just for teens. It's just called Teen Challenge. You think cops should train more on how to de-escalate and treat civilians like humans? I've been saying that for years. Yeah, train more on people skills, then you can stay out of altercations. My job is to not have to have any. De-escalate. It's all good. You want to scream, get it out. It's like let them vent. Try to talk them down. You don't go up a level. You go down a level when you de-escalate. You don't join their. You don't add tension. You try to bring the tension down. What's my opinion on legal marijuana? Mark Hudson. Well, it's decriminalized here in Illinois and it's legal, and I haven't seen much of a difference. I don't have a problem with it. I think I'd rather deal with somebody that's smoking weed than most drunks. Oh my gosh. How about bringing prohibition back? I'm just kidding. But yeah, drunks are way harder to deal with than people who smoke weed. I'll tell you that much. Yep, Teen Challenge, Monique. That's a good group, man. David Wilkers is an old school preacher. Um, I actually listen to a lot of his sermons. You can get a lot of them on YouTube. I believe he's the one who started that. Low contrast, that would be good, man. I know they're doing a lot of we just had our first we had our one of our first policies. I remember signing off not too long ago on on auditors, and that they're finally acknowledging that this is how you're supposed to treat. It should be official. That should be like one of the first classes you take and stay with at the academy is Constitution training. So it gets us in so much because people don't know it. Officers need to know this like the back of their hand. What advice do you have for people about to join the police academy? Kai, it depends on where you go. Going there, I mean, it's really, I don't know what different academies teach. They're different types and different trainings. Just get through the academy, learn what you can about law, pay close attention to the Constitution stuff. Watch. There's so much resource. When I started, there wasn't no YouTube, there wasn't no videos or examples to go off of. So there's a lot more knowledge available to you now. I would say just get as much as you can, and when you get on the road, be an example. Follow what if your FTOs um, train you correctly. And I'm hard on FTOs because you're the first. You're the first liaison between the people or the new trainee and the streets. But like, get through it, learn right, and treat people good. Treat people how you think you would want to be treated. Put yourself in all the citizens' shoes, and how would you want to be treated? With respect. Let's see. I love your content. I'm an outreach worker in downtown East Side Vancouver, very liberal city. What's your opinion on repeat offenders and how to help them? I think we pour so much money into, and that's what I don't. I'm not a big defund the police guy. I'm a big let's reallocate the funds that police get. Um, Repeat offenders need, if they're young. I'm a big guy in working with repeat offenders that are young. We have a lot of them in my program, but I think more money needs to be poured into those local grassroots programs that have access to the streets, that have a say in how to help some of these kids learn from their mistakes. My big brother George Moore, Legacy Reentry Foundation, right here in Waukegan, he helps people that get, either whether they're juveniles or adults, when they get out of jail. He helps get them jobs. He helps them train for job interviews. He helps mentor them. And we do the same with the youth part of it. That's what is going to help. You got to change their perception on life. You got to get to someone. You got to change their heart in the way they look at life. That's really the thing. You can have all the political programs that you want in the world, but if you're not changing somebody's heart and the way they see life, and my true belief, obviously being a Christ follower, is that you got to change. He's the only one that can change your heart. So you got to change the hearts and the way they look at life. That's for repeat offenders. They got to see. Read the Patriot Act and it frightened you. Yeah, there's some craziness that went on back then. Let's see. At the academy, they only spend about 2 weeks training in traffic and criminal laws. Yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be redone, in my opinion, about the academy. There's a lot of things. I think we should be investigated by a third party. Yes, absolutely. And I'll speak on qualified immunity very, very soon. Do I miss Live PD? Live PD was actually in Zion, my city, a lot. You look at the Lake County, Illinois portion of Live PD, they were always in Zion. They would come, and there's a lot of interaction. A lot of people I know from my city that were on that show, Live PD. I don't know if they still on. I don't watch that much TV anymore. You said the main one. Sandra said the main one is the heart and the way they look at life. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to show them that somebody cares. You show them. You got to give them hope. A lot of repeat offenders are just hopeless because they don't look at life the proper way. And I feel my heart goes out to them. Not that I condone not being punished for what you do. You do the crime, you gotta do the time. But my heart goes out to you because I want to see you be productive. Some of the most productive and loving people I know came from prison. I work with them all the time. I'm gonna have some on here with me on the show pretty soon too. Do you think nutrition has an influence on officer attitudes? Nita Jean. Yeah, it has an influence on a lot of their waistlines and their attitudes. Because it's simply, if you're physically unhealthy, your mental well-being is going to suffer too. If you feel unhealthy, your mind is going to be down. So yeah, nutrition has a lot to do with it. Me, I'm a big, speaking of nutrition, I'm a big intermittent fasting guy. I try to watch what I put in my body, and I work out a lot. And physical and mental health go hand in hand. I make some videos on that too. It triggered a lot of people. A lot of fat cops got mad at me for saying, for a couple of my videos. My bad, but man, it's true. It's true. I do. I don't fat shame people. I love all people, but if you're a cop, you should be in shape. You should be able to run up a flight of stairs without having a half a heart attack. Because if something happened to my daughter right now, you better be able to chase that person down. You better be able to fight with that dude and catch him. Whoever just hurt my daughter. Do you the officers, Kai, do you think the ability for officers to mute and turn off their body cams while on duty should be banned? Yes, absolutely. That's policy of ours now. Can't mute it, can't turn it off until the call's over, or reasonably over. Let's say you're walking, if you're going down the block for a call and you're done talking and you start to walk away, you can turn, yeah, when the call's over, and in your mind it's over. Because sometimes people flag you back down, but when you think it's over, turn it off. That's the only time you turn it off. You don't mute it. We can't mute them anymore. People used to mute them, and it looks dirty. It looks terrible. Mm. Yeah, low conscious, come and meet me, man. You still got that big old long beard? Wish I could stay for the rest of the life. But it's 4 a.m. Yeah, Denmark. God bless you, brother. Go to bed, get you some rest. Sandra, that's an awesome story, man. Tell your brother I said what's up, man. Ryan, annual mental and physical evaluation is so true. Most honest, interactive YouTube. I appreciate you, Mark, man. That means a lot to me, man. I try to respond to it. You guys are all family to me, man. We talk all the time now. I love doing these lives because we chop it up, man. I really care about I care about what people think. I want to the people. I feel that I kind of have a voice um, that people think is a little bit different, but I have a nice platform where I can give an opinion that people can appreciate. Nancy, were you trained to be such an amazing cop, or was it training yourself to treat people with respect? I think it was I got this job to treat people with respect. A lot of the way that I think, because of my background and because of people in my that I grew up with and that mentor me as a kid, a lot of people around me growing up were gang members, and a lot of people, and that's kind of who I looked up. That's kind of who showed me how to be a man growing up. I never was in a gang, but I was always with them. They always took care of me. A lot of them were family, but they always showed me love. So I could never like I know what it feels like to have somebody that not necessarily an angel show you love, and I can love them right back. So I don't judge them at all. So I'm gonna give them respect. They show me respect. I love them right back. So I think someone that's never experienced that sees they won't look at them the same way that I know because of my experience. So that helps me a lot. Um, I can never judge anybody because some of these dudes still to this day got my back. Um, and not to say I've ever done anything unethical, but they still, as a man, they respect me, and I love them right back. I don't look at them any other way except a fellow human being and a brother. And yeah, Ryan, that is who I can say that. That's who made me who I am today. Matter of fact, they're responsible for saving my life a few times. They protected me on quite a few occasions. I wasn't a nice young man growing up. Why are most police under 5'9" a huge problem? Rod? The little man syndrome. I hope I don't have that. I'm only 5'8" with shoes on. But people always ask me that. What's my size? Because they think I'm not the biggest dude. I get mad because my brother is 6'4". I am 5'7", 180 pounds. So I'm a middleweight. I'm not the biggest guy, but I'm in really good shape for my age. I've been in the ring with many good fighters, and I can hold my own. I played semi-pro football. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I know that I was above average athlete growing up. I was actually a really explosive athlete. I still have a lot of explosiveness, so physically I can hold my own. But I don't have little man syndrome. But I do see that a lot. That's a good question. Let's see, Jenny James. What some cops don't understand? They need people to help them when solving crimes. Yeah, if you treat people well, they'll talk to you. Don 843, man, I appreciate that. They did a documentary on my story, and it's really well done. The guy just. No, I'm not 6 feet tall, Rod. I'm 5'7". My wife is like, don't tell nobody this, and I'm saying it online. She's about a quarter inch taller than me. She gives me crap about that all the time. But hey, I'm a shorter guy. It's all right. I got a hot wife. I'm still a good looking guy. If I had hair, I'd be like 5'9". Yeah, I appreciate that. They did this documentary on me, and it was really well done. So it really just sees Rod, man. Thank you, Rod. That means a lot to me, man. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Appreciate you, brother. Don't tell nobody how tall I am, though, man. But I got in trouble by some of these guys out here. They act like I'm like 4'10". Oh, you so little, you got little man. I don't have little man syndrome. I'm 5'7". I'm Keela, that's okay. We're in that shorter to mid range. And it sucks too, because my brother's 6'4". You see me next to him in pictures. We call him the Big Show. That's his nickname. It's really embarrassing, man. I hate it. But I ain't got no control over how tall I am. That's how I was born. I do have control of how fit and physically fit I am. And I am very well much that. You watched my wedding speech? Oh, Jenny, you watched that? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That took me so long to make. I think it's on. I think I put it on YouTube. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I'll put it up here. I put it on. I know I made a TikTok because it transcribes what you say. I'm not sure if I put it on YouTube or not, but if I didn't, I will. But I appreciate that. That speech was put my heart and soul into that. It really tells a love story between me and my wife. Yeah, it was. I'd say because she's just like me. We're just flawed human beings that found each other and we love each other. Keela, I agree. The top shelf. Whew, man, if I uh if I stand next to my brother, you would see. I'm gonna put a picture of me and my brother up one of these days. It's terrible. It's embarrassing. Kai, it's okay. That's it. That's okay. We've walked the same. We've walked in the same shoes. So, okay, so Donnie, I did put that speech on YouTube. Low conscious. I'll check my emails in a second here. How can we prevent mass shootings? Oh, that's a good topic to bring up. Oh man, mental health um, is what's, in my opinion, what is causing this. There is so much warfare and spiritual warfare and mental. I believe it's much of it is spiritual warfare, but the mental health crisis in this country is so bad right now. I was in the detective bureau for that 6 years that I was telling you about, and we didn't deal with mental health calls. I deal with violent crimes. I dealt with sex crimes, shootings, homicides, robberies. That's what I dealt with for 6 years. And when I came back on the street after that 6 years, there was more mental health calls. I kid you not. There was more mental health calls in in one day. We'd have 10 of them. When before I went in, there would be like 10 of them in a year. Like I kid you not. They like went up 100-fold. The mental health crisis, and you'll see that's the common denominator. Everyone wants to blame the media. Well, to me, and this is just my opinion. To me, the media wants to blame the guns. This first thing here is the guns, guns, guns. There's nothing we're going to do about you're not going to get rid of the guns in this country. It's not going to happen. There's so many out there, and but the mental health to me is what really is the real crisis here, because every one of pretty much every one of those people, um, just has a breakdown. I mean, it's obvious. It's mental health, but I think gun control is not totally out of the realm of bringing up. I think it needs to be harder to get for certain people to get access to them, but I think it's all right here is really what it is, and it's a spiritual warfare, it's mental health. I'm not. I've never watched Chicago PD. People tell me about that show, but I've never seen it. Sandra, I appreciate you. Yeah, drug use. I mean, if you really want to break it down, the year that I really saw the increase in mental health calls, I was in the bureau from 2015 to 2021, and when I came out in 2021, they were just everywhere. Sandra, I appreciate you. Have a good night. But yeah, mental health calls. It's. I mean, I kid you not. It's a crisis. Let's see. Anyone watch sports in here? Did anyone see the Lakers won that game last night? I don't watch too much NBA. Someone was just talking about that though. Well, I think Mama's about to be calling, so I'm gonna get up out of here. Um, I appreciate all you guys, big time. This is fun. I love doing these, so I'm gonna be on a little bit more. Um, Yeah, COVID. That's a good one. KAPA, COVID isolation. That just contributed to it. That's very 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 accurate. But yeah, I love all you guys. I appreciate you. And my supporters, you guys mean everything to me. I'm gonna start doing a lot more of these. These are fun on my downtime. It's actually some it's therapeutic. I just get to talk to people and show love. So I appreciate you guys all big time. So hey, good night. God bless. I'm gonna make it. I'm on the south side of Chicago. Got to make it down the road here to pick up Mama here in a little bit. And you guys have a good night. I'm gonna try to get a happy Mother's Day. All my mothers out there. I love all you guys. God bless you, and take care.